What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again. Everton 1, Newcastle 4, and it was exactly the game I didn't want. It's that hope you come into this game off the back of a good performance with 10 men against Man United, and you come in, you get back to the Hill Dickinson and you think, right, let's give a Newcastle team that haven't won away from home in God knows how long, give them a game, play them off the park and really build that confidence going into Bournemouth and Forest. And in the end, Everton didn't turn up. We got played off the park. Every time Newcastle went forward, they looked like they were going to score. And there isn't a player that come off that pitch today for me that I thought, oh yeah, you played brilliant today. I thought the players today were disappointing. Well, clearly from minute one, within 10 seconds of the game, Newcastle are on the attack. Within a minute, they've scored a goal. We had no composure. It looked like boys against men at times today. The physicality of Altamid and Joe Linton in the middle, we had no threat for, we had no match for. I thought Tim, look, he started today. He's had some decent cameo appearances. Today, he was a shocker. You know, he started, he got pulled off at half-time. Charlie Alcaraz come on at half-time. And there was no change in system. And that's fundamentally, in my opinion, what cost Everton today, because there was too much space in the middle of the park all game. They could play through the lines at will whenever they wanted to play the ball forward, and Everton just didn't solve it. And on the transition of that, we were too static. We also didn't have a player in the middle of the park that would get the ball, turn and look forward. What would happen is our forward, our two midfielders and our wingers would stand in a line and wait for someone to get the ball played into them. No one would shoot from outside the box. No one was prepared to cross the ball first time. Everyone would take a touch. There was nothing about Everton today that made Newcastle go, oh, that's scary. Nothing at all. And it was a poor performance from start to finish. The second half was just as bad as the first half, albeit they didn't score as many goals and Everton scored a goal. But you know, how many times did Aaron Ramsey come on with 15 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go? He had 2 shots on target. He had more shots on target than I think Everton did in the entire game. Voltamid, he's a player that I was screaming about in the summer. Now, look, he ended up not going for 35 million. He went for like 85 million. So clearly he's a talented player. But he tonight was like, he was dominant. He controlled the 2 centre-halves. We looked like we couldn't handle anything. Even the substitutions that Newcastle made, Joe Willock, he come on, he was creating problems down the right-hand side. You had Livramento, Grealish couldn't get round him. You had Elanga doubling up on him. Grealish didn't have the pace to get round them either. Then on the other side of the pitch, Lilliman Ndiaye was basically on his own. He was having to carry the ball, dribble the ball everywhere. Some of the decision-making from Everton was off today. The passing was poor. Playing through the channel was poor. It was boys against men for 95 minutes today. And there was at no point where I thought, yeah, we're going to get back into this. We score one through Barry. It's given as a handball. I haven't seen it back, so I can't comment on it. But that would have made it 3-1 at the time, and maybe that's a chance of getting back into the game. But within a couple of minutes, Newcastle go up the other end, make it 4-0. And then we then have to try and score and make it 4-1. It's shocking. It's poor performance today. And you've got to reset. You know, you've got to reset. You can't go to Bournemouth, who you know, don't get me wrong, I think they had a disappointing result in the end today as well. I think it was 3-2 to Sunderland today, and I think they come from behind. But we can't go to Bournemouth and play like that tonight, because as much as Newcastle have scored 4 goals, Semenyo and Bournemouth they'll score just as many. So Everton we've got to find a way of getting a result, a draw or something, to pick ourselves back up, because on Saturday or Sunday or whenever the game is, we've got Sean Dyche coming back in with Forest. And that would be awful to lose to them on Saturday or Sunday, whenever that is next week. So for me, it's absolutely monumental that Everton put in a performance that was more fitting of an Everton side that don't look lacklustre, that aren't going to give up on the ball, that are going to be committed to tackles. Everton have got to do something different on Tuesday, because they play like that, they'll get played off the park again. Really disappointing result tonight, start to finish. And Newcastle, look, as much as it annoys me, they go back to the northeast with 3 well-deserved points. Absolute farce. Absolute farce performance. We'll see you tomorrow for the debrief. Make sure you come over if you see us in Flyers, Aviate, our sponsors, and of course, OK Jersey. BBM for 8% discount. But yeah, your boy's not happy tonight. Up the toffees. Peace.